Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Edric Show. I am your host, Edric Jerome. This is the place for intelligent conversation with interesting people. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, and you'll get notified when I post content each and every week. I want to welcome to the show Zemario Sheppard. He is an award-winning filmmaker, actor, director, producer, and writer, and he's the driving creative force behind Shep Video Productions. Zamario is a prolific filmmaker known for centering his work on stories that resonate with integrity and truth. His overarching aim is to craft films that are both meaningful and impactful, ensuring every project is worth watching and leaves a lasting impression. Zemario is currently pursuing a degree in motion picture and television at the Academy of Art University, and I'm pleased to welcome him to the show. Zemario, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. That was a lot. I
Yeah,
ain't gonna
man.
say.
Well, I told you when I met you, I wanted to have you on because, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but just how prolific you are. Because before you even get to that, I met you at the Sacramento Film Festival, and you had three films. How many films did you have?
Yeah, it was. I had three in the Sydney Soul block, and then it was also a 48-hour film
Right.
series I
So
did. So it
four
was four
films, man.
total.
So you're doing it, man. That's the main thing is just get a film done. So, but let's get into it. Let's get into it. So your passion for storytelling and expression began when you started producing promotional content for your church, right? So that's where you develop your skill for editing and producing. So how did that opportunity present itself, and how did that shape your creative process?
Well, it goes all the way back till I was about 5 years old. My dad was a disc jockey, famous disc jockey. This is before he became a pastor. Known here, even sometimes ministers come to the pulpit and they say, "We still remember back in the day, you was Sugar Shep." So he wrote a rap for me when I was five, and I did it at a talent show. And ever since then, it's kind of like I started on this path to where I would just do things to create content. Now, it wasn't called creating content back in the day, but I did those things. I was able to construct a PSA for my father that was played in our arena here for basketball. At the time, I'm thinking, oh, it's no big deal. But now, looking back, I had no training for it to be the quality to be able to be played in an arena. I was like, that's actually a pretty big deal. So I was in the military and I was in San Diego and I started just putting up content because like I said, I was in the military and in Japan I bought a Mac Mini. And when I got the Mac Mini, it had GarageBand and
Hmm.
it had iMovie on there. So I was like, what is this? And I rapped. So I was able to start making like music videos and it was like legit. I was like, oh dude, Mac. I was like, and that's when I was like, yeah, Mac is where it's at. So I had things online. So when I went and joined the church in San Diego, the marketing person there saw it and said, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna work together for sure for the ministry." So it was a year that I went from using my video camcorder to a DSLR. I do 3-point light systems. I was doing video composition for different things. So that really experience wise put me on a different level. So much so that I would do promos for the youth pastor, who's now the main pastor, and somebody that was starting a television network saw one of the promos and said, I want you to come and work on my network as like the video guy outside the non-disclosure firm and everything.
Wow.
But I was in the military, so I had to go on deployment. So because I had to go on deployment, I wasn't able to take part in that opportunity, which is crazy. But fast forward to now, it was a prayerful decision because I'm a minister and I was like, okay, this is where I feel like God is leading me to go. So I'm in school, I'm doing the motion picture and television thing, and I'm like, well, how do I make this longevity? I need to be able to support my family
Right.
by doing what I was created to do. So I created the LLC, Shep Video Productions, which is what my dad had called his production company. I'm almost like a spit mirror image. And that's pretty much where I am now. I started submitting to film festivals. I was like, well, let me get a little bit smarter with my submissions.
Right.
And Just
And
creating.
actually
That's why
have
I was
a
able to.
I have some questions about your film festival strategy, which I wanted to get to because, again, not very many people have, four projects in one festival. So, we definitely want to talk about that. But before we get to that, tell me about Shep Video Productions. So, what's your creative approach, and storytelling philosophy behind your production company? And it's a versatile production company because you were getting into it. You're doing more than just motion, just films. You do a lot of other things too.
Yes, I do some marketing things. Like I said, I've just been creating, so it's just a matter of making sure that I have value within the market. I'm like 41 now, so the years of experience in the different circles I've been, I believe, has shaped me to take and say, all right, yes, I'm a creative. I can take this and market my talent by making it a skill. And then how do I market now this skill set? So I do. I have a client that I'm on a retainer for to do different marketing things, and that includes video, that includes like flyer production and different things like that. So I took what I knew as far as just creating videos and applied it to my an LLC, which it is now. And so I'm like, okay, so now my passion is creating films, but I can still pay the bills by bringing the creativity to people who need the creativity. My biggest thing is believability and authenticity.
Hmm.
Because I hate when I see a commercial like for a vacuum cleaner and you see the person struggling with the vacuum cleaner and it's like it's the end of the world. And I'm like, listen, it's inconvenient, but it's not the end of the world when the
Right.
vacuum cleaner, you know what I'm talking about? Just tell it how it is versus how, you don't have to make caricatures of things. So that's what I bring creatively. I want things to be very like aesthetic. I want it to look nice. I want it to sound nice. I want it to be quality. And I want to bring that quality of visual and audio to the quality of good stories.
Hmm. Speaking of good stories, so let's get into some of the projects and some of the things, the ones definitely that I've seen. I wanted to talk to you first about Cheesy Morning, with the play on morning, Mourning. That film resonated with me. I have a daughter, so let's talk about that a little bit. But tell me about that powerful film and how and how successfully you were able to actually incorporate your daughter into the production as well. Tell me about that film.
Well, thank you for saying it's powerful. Well, that was for the 48-hour film competition, and I kind of specialize in minimalist production 'cause that's where I'm at. I'm like a one-man show right now. So I entered it kind of like last minute, and I was like, okay, here's a good idea, and I feel like it can be doable because the people that I know who aren't necessarily actors, they can pretty much be themselves. But things fell through with the original people who I intended wanted to use. But my daughter is here, and my daughter is much like me in a lot of ways, like almost like my mini-me. So I was like, okay, so all I need you to do is to do this and that. I even had to do some of the camera work. I was like, I'm gonna set it up. I just need you to do like this. So I was just able to kind of shape the story to where we take the visual and take the dialogue, which isn't that much dialogue, but it's enough to coincide with the visuals to tell a story to where, okay, we only have two people, but visually I can show you this, and then you see that and you put it together with what's being said and say, okay, here is the situation. So I was able to do that, I think, because she's because of how much of me like she actually is. And that's not the first thing that she's done. I had her do something else before, so she's kind of comfortable on the camera even when she was 3 or 4.
Hmm.
I almost started a YouTube page with her. I just left and was like, okay, go ahead and do stuff. And she was just doing random things in front of the camera, and I pieced together like an 8-minute video, and I was all like, oh yeah, she could definitely like people, other kids would definitely watch her. So um because of that she has, I think she has a raw talent. I was able to utilize that to my advantage.
And that the story, because even in that short period of time that the film, it's not a long film, but even the story you were able to convey, and I think I came up to you and asked you, was that based on reality, or is this something you made up? Because it's just the tell me about this. Well, tell the audience about the plot of the film and what the film was about. And like I say, it got me because I thought it's something that was a real experience that had happened to you, man.
Well, I mean, thank you. Because the performance it was rushed. It was 48 hours, so I'm glad that it was still able to be impactful. But the story is pretty much with mourning, and it's a story to where the mother is gone, because she's passed on, and you have this dad who's struggling, and you have this daughter. So I did that because like there's just two people. So how can I tell a story that is impactful? And I do feel like dealing with loss is it's not it doesn't have to be as difficult as people make it. A lot of times, maybe sometimes people don't want to tell those stories, but I think me being minister, being like a born again believer, I'm like death isn't something that I put off. Like to be absent from the body, to be present with the Lord. This is what I believe. So I do tend to tell a lot of stories about mourning or being able to get over loss or grieving. But my wife and her mother is very much alive right now. But she is in the military. That's where we met, and she is finishing out her service. So we are a little bit, geographically separated right now. So there may be a little bit of resonance in that sense, but I do like to tell stories that, hit and that are impactful. And I'm like, when it comes to loss, you have this dad and you have this daughter, and he's trying, and I feel like his trying is enough, and it's the daughter that's able to kind of convey that to him. So I feel like that was kind of like what the story that was brought to me. I was like, it's doable. It satisfies all of the requirements for the 48, and I feel like it can be impactful. So I'm glad that it was that it ended up being something that stuck with people.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Another project you did was Color of Love. I mean, Color Love. So tell me about that story and the unique way you told that story.
Well, I'm in class and I was learning about experimental film, and there's stasis and there's disparity and these different things that you show. So with that, there was no dialogue. So I wanted to show just the repetitiveness of kind of going through the same thing. And that's what I did. That was my friend. She's not an actress like at all, but she was available. I was like, that's what I need. I just need you to be available. That's great. So I was able to tell that story. And if you watch it, there's a very specific camera movement, right? It goes from there being no movement to being movement, and that's part of the disparity with the experimental. So I'm really big, like I said, on the visuals, like telling a story without needing to have dialogue. But I feel like Color Love was a way for me saying it's easy to be in a repetitive cycle that you don't want to be in, where there is no color in your life. But once you get introduced to Jesus, who he actually is, then your life is filled with color. And like no day is really the same as it is before. So it was important to me to convey that without being overly preachy, but just kind of telling it how it is. Like I said, I want it to be authentic. I want it to be practical, and I feel like that's what that was. And that was something I did earlier.
Hmm.
So just since then, I've even grown just with the production of my short films. But I think I was able to do that with that story.
Last one, tell me about Confession.
Confession was another one that I was doing for school. I was like, if I get this assignments, then I need to try to utilize this to
Heard that.
maximize it. You know what I mean? So I had gotten my camera. I have an FX3 and I have my camera. So I was like, let me use this camera. I I didn't have the lighting that I wanted to have. I didn't have a gaffer. That's what I needed. But I took that. That was a script that was already written. And when I took the script, I did everything except for writing the script and then acting in it and then holding the boom mic. I had a boom mic
Mm.
operator for that one. Um, but that was the first time I kind of worked with actors who like, did readings and reached back out to me like I'm interested in the project. And it was a learning experience for me as far as, directing, because one person was like used to being in films and the other one was used to being like on stage. So being in school, I took a class of directing actors after that, and I was all like, "Ooh, I wish I would have did that before." It wasn't bad, it wasn't horrible, but it would have been a lot better if I had been equipped with this knowledge before I had the confession. But I did. It's something you have to pay attention to, and you have to listen to the dialogue. And I'm
Yep.
okay now. How am I going to accentuate the dialogue that the person wrote? He wrote it a certain way and probably had a vision for it. So I'm gonna take these words and I'm gonna bring these words to life. So I feel like I'm in an aspect to where I'm able to do that. I feel like effectively. Where I'm at now, as far as growing, is working on creating stories with dialogue from scratch. And I would say that is, yeah, that's where I'm at now. That's not easy. It's not easy. I'm like, okay, whew, all right. So this is what I'm in school for, to learn the stuff that I don't know. Not that I'll have to do it all, but to be able to do it and be able to tell a story the way that is even more impactful. So I mean, I'm looking forward to what the future holds once I nail that down.
Well, well done. Well done indeed. Um, Let me go back because we started talking briefly about film festivals and your film festival strategy. And so one of the things, and I say it on my show all the time. I get to interview a lot of filmmakers and people who are in the business and first timers, established filmmakers, you name it. But I always want to ask them and I always ask the question about their film festival experience. So let me ask you about your film festival experience. What's been like? What have you learned from your film festival submissions and the way in navigating that game? And then, what are some of the ways that you're using the strategy of film festivals to be seen and what's your overall view of film festivals in general?
I feel like starting out, I got an account on Film Freeway and I submitted to stuff that was taking submissions, and I was like, okay, cool. And when you submit, it's not like free to submit to
Right,
film festival. I
right.
was like, okay, cool. I'm blessed enough to be able to allocate funds to this. Like I said, I'm trying to build it. So, a big thing that wealthy people use. I was around like entrepreneurs. I mean, and they leverage is really the thing. Leverage. So I'm like, okay, so how do I take and leverage these film festivals? I noticed that there were local film festivals that I could actually physically go to and be at. So I was like, okay, so I've submitted to film festivals, stuff has been selected, some stuff has been awarded because it's different, being selected and
Right,
being awarded. So I
right.
got selected for some stuff, I got awarded for some stuff, and some things weren't just honorable mentions. There was like, best director. I'm like, cool. I got one for Sacktown movie film buffs. And I was like, dude, I was there. It's at the IMAX here. So I was like, okay, so this is great. And I'm meeting other people. So then I can leverage the success of this film. And now people want to work with me
Right.
because they're like, oh, yeah, because I see your work and now
It's
I want to
quality. They see
work
the quality of your
with
work.
you.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm like, so now I can leverage the fact that I'm good at what I am good at, and I can work with people who are good at what they're good at because they can see the strengths. So I'm like, how can I raise my value in the market? Let me do more local film festivals and, aim to win so that I can say, here's my credentials. I might not be able to pay you monetarily, but I can give you some reels. I can feed you, while we're working together, and then we're gonna share in the accolades. And I feel like that is how you build a team. So that's what's became my strategy strategy and speaking with different people, like yourself and other people at the festival, they're like, well, yeah, that's the way you do it. You build a name. And that's why I want to market like everywhere. Shep Video Pro. Like you can find me Shep Video Pro everywhere, and then you see this logo right here, and I want this logo to be recognized in Sacramento and then everywhere else of that's the movie guy. Oh, he's got some good. If you see that logo, you're about to see something that's worth watching. So that is where I'm at now. I'm trying to create things that are more impactful so I can win more awards and get more accolades solely for the purpose of leveraging those awards and accolades to do more things and do bigger projects. So, yeah, I think it doesn't take a lot, but if you have a plan and say, all right, I'm gonna do these three film festivals and I can physically go to these film festivals, then it doesn't have to break the bank, so to say, with submitting to these film festivals and rubbing elbows with people, passing out cards. Like I'm now on the Edric show because of I was seen at a film festival and then I was able to network. So yeah, I feel like it's going and it's growing, I would
Nice.
say.
Nice. I'm gonna go back now because you mentioned it earlier that you started rapping at 5 years old. And I think you said your father wrote the rap for you. Is
Yes,
that
5 years
okay?
old, he wrote the rap. Yeah.
And so two questions. One, um, what were you actually rapping about at 5 years old? What was the subject matter? And two, um, how has hip hop affected your creativity as a storyteller? And just how did that hip hop sensibility or does it affect the way you approach creativity in filmmaking?
Well, I like I said, my dad's a pastor now. He was a reverend then, so it was a Christian rap that I did at 5. It was like, yo, everybody, I'm Zamario, and this is how my little story go. I like to go to church and Sunday school. I like to learn about the golden rule. I don't remember the rest, but um, that was the first rap that I did, and then fast forward to high school, I was doing like Christian rap, and that's why I knew how to be able to put together the PSA because I got like this little, you record on a cassette tape.
Right,
You record again,
right.
and then I was able to get something digital, which sounded way cleaner. I was like, okay, great. And then I had a sampler, the SP303 Boss. I lost it. I wish I could find it. But I guess I could buy another one. But I'm like, I'm not spending all that claim with that. But I had an SP303 Boss, and I was able to sample stuff. So we like performed, we put on a concert. Sac High is the school I went to. So my best friend at the time, he went to Morehouse, so he came back with all his knowledge. It was like, oh, we're gonna put on a concert. So he was able to put on a concert at Sac High, in Oak Park, and we got talent and everything. So I was like, this is, 18, 19, doing these things. So that was great. And then it's more of a ministry than something to market. I know that when it comes to music, people take that and they market it. But for me, because you know, I'm rapping about love, I'm rapping about abundant life versus rapping about, glorifying drugs or glorifying things that you won't want your kids involved in. I feel like that had a lot to do with our success. And I mean, not that bad. Not that bad, like of a rapper. Like sometimes I'll stir a rap. It takes a lot of breath. I'm all like, sheesh. I don't know. This is a young man's game. I just gotta rewrite it so I can breathe better. But I feel like it's just more of the creativity because my dad allowed us to rap in church, and he was one of the first people that were really doing that because, this is before Lecrae. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This is
Okay.
before,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
before all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That
it
whole
was
Kirk Franklin people were, yeah, a lot of stuff went on where
right, yeah.
people were
So
saying there's
correct,
too much secular into yeah, man. I know
correct,
exactly
correct,
what you're
correct.
talking about.
So it was kind of groundbreaking in that sense. We had a lot of youth around, and somebody asked to do freestyle, and he was able to freestyle. I was like, see, a lot of people that say that Christian rappers can't do that because they ain't really being about it. Now I know what they meant when they said that. Because I'm like, okay, yeah, because a lot of times it's just numbers. I can get in this genre and do these things. So I would say the way it affects me as far as creating goes is just my storytelling and being able to be I would say like have some success in recognition with rapping about Jesus essentially when you would think, oh, it's corny. Like, nah, this is real rapping, but it's what we're rapping about. It's scriptures in our bars.
Sure.
It shows that you can be authentically who you are with your story and with your message without just creating something that's, kind of consumerism. It's something to be consumed. No, it's something to be experienced versus only just being consumed. So I would say that's what that has taught me. That, yeah, I can do things that not everyone can do, and everybody's like that. Everybody has something they can do that other people can't do as well. So you can take and you can, like I said, market your skill, right? Take from a talent to a skill and then market it and be able to have a livelihood by doing the thing I would say you were created to do. So I feel like that's how it's definitely influenced me because I'm unapologetically me. I'm unapologetically black. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's okay to be those things in
Absolutely.
these different spaces. So you don't have to shy away from who you are. Like everywhere I go, people are probably gonna know I'm a Christian because I got Christian t-shirts, but I feel like more so than the shirt and the messaging, it's how they're interacting with me. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't see
Hmm.
you doing the things that I would think other people do. There is a little something that's different than you. And it's not just because you have a t-shirt on. And it's the same thing with however I am culturally. It's like I'm gonna be me and not shy away from that. No, nor do you need to shy away from who it is that you are.
Right.
So I feel like that's what that's done because you can go to church and people are like, oh, wait, you rap? Because before that, I was even on a step team. It was a Christian step
Mm.
team. We were good. We were good. People knew about us. I got involved. It was already a step team. I got involved, and then it was like it was we went to like San Francisco and stuff like that to step, and I was all like, yeah, you can be yourself and do the things based on what you believe in, and if it's good, then people are gonna rock with it. That's
Right.
how I look at it.
Right, right. We have a few minutes left, and I want to ask you now because all filmmakers have, oh, I shouldn't say all film, but most filmmakers have favorite filmmakers that people that they admire, directors or producers or writers. So, who are some of the filmmakers that you gravitate to who have influenced you, or who's some of the favorite folks' films you like to watch?
So I will say, okay, there's a few. Right, so I'm gonna go through the list. So,
Okay.
um, definitely, oh, I can't remember his name right now. Terminator 2. Is Ron Howard?
Oh,
James
not really Scott.
James Cameron? Ron Howard
No, no,
or
Terminator.
James
Oh man, it's
Cameron?
on the tip of my tongue.
Is it
Oh
James
man,
Cameron?
is it? Was it James Cameron? It may have been.
I think James Cameron
We
did
can look.
Terminator
Yeah,
2.
we got access to technology there. Let's take a look. Um,
Yeah.
I
But
thought I
that
remember.
was the yeah, it was James. I'm pretty sure it was James Cameron.
Okay,
The Avatar guy. Yeah, because he's the one that came and took it again. Yeah, correct,
okay.
James Cameron. Have faith in yourself. So, James Cameron with Terminator 2, I was like 11, and my uncle took us to the theater. That was the first movie where I saw composition because she took the paperclip and
Yeah.
we were showing her getting the paperclip, and I fixated on this what's gonna happen with this paperclip. So
Hmm.
when it came back into play, I felt satisfied.
Hmm.
So that is how I want to be when it comes with film. That was the first spark, I say, when I
Sure.
saw that paperclip because I saw like I'm showing you this for a reason. So when I think of good filmmaking, I think of show and then tell. I'm not showing you this for no reason. Pay attention to this because it's gonna come into play here. I'm not gonna spoon feed you like I showed you her taking the paperclip, so you should be paying attention. So I feel like that as far as James Cameron specifically. with Terminator 2 because that was the movie for me when I first started really paying attention to film.
Mm.
As far as just filmmakers, Spike Lee, I almost want to say obviously, but Spike Lee, Quentin Tarantino, people who make movies that are specific, it's not just about the action, but it's about what you're being seen and it's about what you're being told. John Singleton, I mean, I feel like these are the greats for me. And Ryan Coogler is also on that list. I would say those kind of people, Christopher Nolan as well. I just feel like people that take the medium and they elevate it, like what
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Coogler did with Sinners, where he kind of married old with the new by
Right.
creating new technology in the way that he filmed it, but utilizing actual film 70 millimeter so he can get a look that you can't get like with digital. But it's beautiful and it just goes along with the storytelling. So filmmaking like that. And then there's this one filmmaker called Chris Lloyd. He made this film called Have Plenty. It's pretty old.
Mm.
Um, and my somebody from the military was telling you got to watch this movie. This guy is just like you. And in the movie, he's like he's like reserved. He's not like out there sleeping around. So this is what he was thinking. And I was like, well, he's not wrong. He was all like, your first kiss shouldn't be in the bed. And I was all like, that's how I feel. But the movie itself, though, the movie itself is very minimalistic. It's not in too many different locations. And I feel like it was done well. It was it was black. It had the bomb soundtrack with Babyface. And I was like, yeah, this is the type of films that I can make because it was very entertaining and it had a message and it wasn't like over preachy. It was all like, yeah, this is good. And people know. People, if you ask about Half Plenty, like in the black community, people are like, oh yeah, the movie with the yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's another one. He's not as like he hasn't really like blown up. Uh, but I think I've seen like one other movie he's done. I think he's working on shows now. But that specifically that film, Terminator 2, just being dedicated to the story. And I think those are filmmakers who are dedicated to like this. We're gonna tell the story if it
Yep.
takes 1.5 hours, if it takes 2 hours, we're gonna use this time to actually tell the story. And it's
Yeah.
okay to have an average shot lift that's more than 8 seconds. Like
Hmm.
they're not afraid of that.
One of the connections between all of the people you named is they, to your point, one, they have pretty large budgets, but two, they all have an artistic or an aesthetic about the way they work that's almost a signature, but it's literally more art than just the craft of filmmaking. They're artists in many
That's right.
respects, and so to
That's right.
have the people you named, the James Camerons and the Spike Lees and the Ryan Cooglers, to me, not only they're just great filmmakers, they're literally artists in the way they approach filmmaking and the craft, just the way that they do things, and like you mentioned, the beautifully way that they shoot and the stories they tell and the memorable characters. So yeah, man, those are some pretty impactful artists that you named. Do you see it that way in terms of the artistic side, not just the craft side?
I do. And I feel like that's the reason why their stuff resonates. Because you can like, well, what are people gonna like? And you want to make something that people are gonna like. Or you can make something like that you believe in. And I feel like it comes across in the filmmaking. And then if you step away from that, it's like we can also see that. It's like, oh, what happened with this film? And then you find out there might be too much of studio involvement or something along those lines. But I feel like Michael Bay with Bad Boys 1.
Hmm.
I feel like it was great. I don't know what Chris said, but Bad Boys 1 was great. And when you watch it with the commentary, he's like, we have no money.
Right.
Because he didn't have any money, he had to utilize what he had. And that's what I like. Like back in the day when there was all this censorship, okay, we can't show this, but we can still convey this in an artistic way
Hmm.
by doing this. Like, so I like those aspects where it's like we're gonna get creative with things and not just like I say spoon feed, but it's like you have to be paying attention to be able to see it. So I definitely feel like just being integrity to your art. Like even when I create flyers, I'm all like, listen, I'm not, no, I'm not gonna do that. No, you can get somebody else because I don't want somebody saying I did that and that's what it looks like. I'm not
Right.
okay with putting that out there that I did that because I don't want my name to be associated with it unless I want my name to be associated with it. So even if you don't agree with it, it's fine because I believe in it.
Well, as we get ready to wrap up, let me ask you now about what's next. I mean, I know you said you submitted some film festivals, but what's next for you and your production company, man? Where's the next vision headed?
My next vision ultimately is growth. What I want to do is, like I said, I'm taking my time before kind of putting something else out to really get into the writing aspect of it and seeing how learning to trust to allow there to be other hands that are involved because it comes with, being able to trust. Like if I'm directing and I'm editing and I'm doing the lights, like I got it, but I want to be able to trust others and build the size of my projects. Like a project that I am working on. It's like the pre-production stage. I'm like, listen, I have the actors on. We're working the script and making sure that the characters are three-dimensional so that the characters will be able to stick with people. So I have that aspect and then really taking my time to think about the shots and the camera placement and then how I want it to be lit and how I want the emotion to be conveyed. And it's still going to be, probably 5 to 7 minutes, but I'm really taking my time because I want the quality, not just visually and audibly, but even the things that you don't think about. Like, what's it going to sound like, and how is that sound going to impact how it's being received? Really creating an experience. So, I'm working on elevating my craft and just elevating the ways that I make film to where it's not, let me get some stuff out there. It's like, let me really take my time and however long it takes it's how long it takes because once it's out there, I want to be like, yes, that's no, it's great. There's nothing I would change now. There's nothing I would change now or ever. And then, you know, continue just like I said, build from there. Like the people that I'm using, I'll probably be able to call on them again. And then they'll call on people. And then, pretty soon I'll be able to have probably a team and just go forth that way, continue to build Shep Video Productions.
Well, you are on your way, sir. As I said, you're very prolific. Your stories have meaning and weight to them, and visually they're beautiful. And so you're a creative force, man, on your way. And like I
Thank
told you, when I ran into you when I met you at the film festival, I said I want to have you on to talk about film because I just knew you were this creative guy, and you've got some really interesting philosophies and. I see success for you, man, for sure. So, if people want more information about you or Shep Video Productions, where can they go?
Shep Video Pro everywhere. You can go to shepvideopro.com. That's SHEPP Video Pro. Um, yeah, all my handles, Instagram, YouTube, I have Vimeo. I don't have X, but I have if you just type in Shep Video Pro, all my stuff will pop up. But you can go to my website where you can see, my work. There's things right now that's in the circuit for the film festival that hasn't been released yet. So there's about I think three films that are still working the circuit that'll be, released on my website probably within the year. But Shep Video Pro everywhere.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Well, Zamario, I really enjoyed the conversation, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I'm glad we were able to connect finally. And again, man, just thank you for coming on Edge Show and congratulations on all the success you've had and all the success you're gonna have. Because You're a creative brother, man, for sure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. You're also creative too, so hopefully we can work together on something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got it, man. Let's book that. Let's book that. All right. Zemario Sheppard from Shep Video Pro. He is prolific, and you're going to be hearing about him very, very soon. So, again, thank you for coming on the Edric Show. This has been another edition of the Edric Show. As promised, intelligent conversation with interesting people. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. You'll get notified when I post content each and every week. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next episode.